Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Montserrat Garibay. I'm a pre-K teacher. I have been teaching for 9 years, and I'm a national board certified teacher. And I have 20 students, and they are all bilingual students. Their first language is Spanish. And some of the successes that I've had with my students this year is that we're learning to be a good community of learners. They're learning the routines and how to write their names, and they're learning to get along. A lot of them have brothers and sisters, but being in a classroom with 20 kids and sharing, it's very important to us. And I can think of one student in particular that at the beginning was having a really hard time sharing with others and using their words. And now I cut them during center time, talking with each other nicely and asking and saying please and thank you and sharing with each other, and that's very important to me. And when they have problems and they're fighting, they also are addressing each other with respect, and I'm very excited that they're very caring with each other and respectful, because I try to model that every day. And I've started to see a few that didn't know any of the letters. They're starting to see, point out the letters of their names, the A for this name, and their friends' names as well. So that's always exciting to see that they are. In the Science Center, we're very excited to see all the different animals, and they can start to see the characteristics of different animals, like the fish are in the water and they breathe when they have little bubbles. And with the gecko that we have, they can see that the gecko only eats crickets, and they don't eat the same food that the fish does. So that's very exciting for me to see that they're really learning about science and they're excited to be here.
Well, keep looking at the camera. Talk a little bit about the bilingual, how you teach different things in different languages.
This year, AISD is starting a new program. It's a dual language program, and in the past I have taught everything. My whole day was in Spanish instruction with 10% of English. This year, with the dual language program, we're doing 1 day in English and 1 day in Spanish. And that's mainly the transitions that we're doing in the classroom, but math is completely in English. And that has been fun and interesting, and it's a learning experience because I'm used to always talking to them in Spanish and just having an ESL time. So I'm learning that the kids are very excited to learn a lot of English, and I love to see how they work with one another. I have two little girls actually that speak a lot of English. So they're kind of like the models of listening how certain words are said, and it's very exciting to hear some kids just saying words in English constantly during the English days and the Spanish days as well. So it's a learning experience for them. They're very excited. And I am personally learning a lot on how to use different strategies to teach them math, because math it's all about using manipulative. So it's a little bit easier for them to understand. And using the parents' help is very important, because they're really teaching them a lot of the concepts in Spanish at home, and then they come at school and I teach them in English. So I've had workshops with the parents as well to teach them.
You've been teaching for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you track any of your former students, what some of them are doing now? They're still in school. What are they doing?
Yes, actually, I live here in the neighborhood where my students live. So I see them all the time at H-E-B and Walmart and Target. And actually, on Monday was our parent conferences, and I actually had one of my students from when I started teaching. He's in 6th grade now, and he came and he told me, Miss Garibay, I still remember you, and that was very, very nice. It was just a nice touch for him to remember me since pre-K, and now he's in 6th grade. So it was very nice. He told me that he always remembers me in pre-K, so that's really nice.
Did he tell you how well he was doing in school?
Yes, he said that he's learning a lot. that he's learning a lot of English. And he was one of the kids that was really struggling with behavior. So it was very nice to see that he was very, very communicative. He was very well-mannered, and I thought that was really nice. I think that pre-K really works, and that it was something nice to see. It's always good to see the kids, but in the past years I've had many siblings. This year I don't have any siblings, but the past 2 years I've had many siblings, and it's always nice to see them, and they always come back and tell their siblings, hey, have you already learned about the animals, or have you already started planting the garden? So it's a lot of follow-up with the parents too, and because they know where I live, it's nice that we're close.
Stop for that.
Okay. When I started my national board certification, I started working with the parents and doing home visits, because I think home visits are very important to build a good relationship with the parents. I take that in pre-K. I think that it's essential that they trust me and that they know that I'm their teacher and that we're going to work together. So I take the time to do 20 home visits the first 2 weeks of school. And it is a lot of work, but I invest that time because I want to build very strong relationships with the parents. And because I go to my students' home, they always see me and they're like, oh, you've been to my house. I know that you know my mom and dad. And that always works with behavior problems. And they just trust me. They know that when they come to school, I talk to the parents, we work together. I do a lot of cultural activities with the kids and the parents, and at least every month, once or twice per month, I have activities like either holiday parties. I invite them to read. I invite the parents to come share about their work. I had one child this year that he lives with his grandmother and great-grandmother, and it's amazing for her. For me to know that he had a great-great-grandmother was a big deal. So I invited the grandmother, and she came and read the book, and both of the grandmothers and the mom were here. So the kids were just like, wow, they saw those 3 generations, which was very important, and they know that I value the families. Without them, the kids are not successful. So we do. Even though all the parents speak Spanish and there's very few that speak English, I tell them that their kids are going to be as successful and that they're going to go to college. So.
How much time a week do you put in on your job? Classroom, home visits, preparation?
I don't have any children, so I kind of see them as my children, and I do spend since 7:30 in the morning that I need to be here all the way to 5, 6 in the afternoon. And I don't mind. I love my job. I think it's a lot of fun. I learn a lot with the kids, and it's every day from 7:30 to 6:30. But I think it's an investment in our future. So I love to do it.
Do you do preparation time at home also?
Yes, yes, Saturdays and Sundays. I have my husband cutting and painting and doing things like that, but that's okay. As I've gained more experience, I know how to prepare better. And now I love to do a lot of inquiry lessons. So a lot of the stuff that we do and I bring, it takes a lot of preparation than a traditional instruction does, but I find it that the kids learn the most when it's inquiry based and when they find something that they're interested in and I build that knowledge. It's important. And then a way that I always do is using the TICs and the standards, integrating them into my daily lessons. It's very important, and it does take a lot of time, but it's worth it.
Do you spend much money out of your own pocket buying supplies, goodies, and things like that?
Yes, yes I do. There's a lot of stuff that I like to go the extra mile with the kids. Like, for example, we're going to start our garden on Friday, and a lot of the parents can't afford to buy plants or they can't afford to buy dirt. So I go ahead and buy the dirt and buy the seeds and buy the plants. And it's important for me for the parents to come. If they don't have the money, it doesn't matter. I just want them to be here. So I might do a few grants, I do the grants or write letters to Lowe's or Home Depot. But with this crisis, they're not giving a lot of money. So I do tend to just put the $5, $10, $20, $40, and I want the best for them. So I don't mind chipping sometimes. I don't know 100% that they're in school, but I think that the foundation and the fact that they start when they start pre-K, many of them have never been in school. They can't even hold a pencil. They don't know any letters, they don't know any shapes, they don't know any colors. And a lot of them don't have social skills. So at the beginning it's challenging, but when they leave pre-K, I am very happy that a lot of them know the very basics, and they know how to behave, and they know how to ask a question. So to me, I think that's very important. A lot of the kids that end up dropping in 6th grade, it's because they never had a good foundation. Working with the parents is very important because I tell them, you are building right now a foundation of, if they like school and they're excited about it, they're going to keep going no matter what. It might be difficult, and you might have difficulties, and reading might be difficult, but I think pre-K sets a good foundation of, these are the basic things that you know, this is the routine that you learn, and this is going to help you to be a great student throughout the years. So a lot of the students that I've seen, the parents always come and tell me, I'm so grateful that my child went to pre-K because it really gave them a good foundation. They're happy, they're excited, and a lot of the kids already start kinder. The expectation for when the kids leave kinder for the DRA reading level is 6, DRA 6, and a lot of the kids already start, just reading sight words, and so they're prepared because pre-K is not required by the state. So only the kids that have low income are able to go and are English language learners. So if we don't spend that money right now in pre-K, we're going to have to pay it later. And I think AISD has been great in really looking and putting the money in early education versus other districts that have cut their full day pre-K program, or they don't even have a pre-K program. That is detrimental to their districts. So I think we are in the right path, but it has taken us a lot of educating and identifying and mobilizing the teachers too, because that's very important right now.
I guess you were a little bit nervous last year when the legislature cut those funding for full-day pre-K, right? Because you really didn't know what the district was going to do.
Yeah, I was. I think last year was very, very scary for me and for 324 teachers that we have in the district, because we didn't know if our positions were going to be cut. And I think it took a lot of us to really educate ourselves and educate our community to tell them the importance of pre-K and how this helps us, not only us as teachers, but also our communities. So yeah, last year it was very scary, and we're still scared because the deficit is still there, and we don't know what's going to happen, if we're going to have a full-day pre-K program or not. But it's within us that we need to educate our peers and educate our community and really empower the parents to speak up and say pre-K is important, and we need to invest in our generations right now, that they're young and that they're ready to learn.
What's your background? Now, not just are you an immigrant yourself?
Yeah.
How long have you been in the United States?
I've been here 20 years almost.
So you went to
middle
you
school.
went to school here, right?
I went to Markison, and then I went to Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah.
And UT, and your undergraduate program at UT.
Yeah.
And your undergrad is from UT as well?
Yes, I went to UT.
Well, thank you very much.
She's Austin.
Yeah, I am Austin.